Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and thanks for joining us for a Speedy Beginner's Guide to Mambo Merge. This month in office hours, Cynthia's going to be walking us through some of the basic functionalities, simple troubleshooting, and going over some of the new features that have just been released. Today is Thursday, March 16th, and we thank you for joining, and thank you Cynthia for doing this. Take it away.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm happy to be helping us get started with our Mambo merge and setting everything up. I'll go ahead and share my screen for you. All right. So I'm starting on my opportunity page. I'm on a single opportunity record. I've already downloaded Mambo Merge from the App Exchange. So it's in my org, but it's not on any of my pages. So to get it there, I've come to my opportunity and I selected one of my opportunity records, doesn't matter whichever, and I'm going to select my gear setup over here. Normally you use this to get to setup, but we're actually going down to edit page. I select edit page, it's taking me to my Lightning app builder. And on this page, we see three panels going. On the left is components and fields. In the middle, you'll see that the preview of my record page is generating. And then on the right is a detail of any component that I select. So it'll change as I choose the different components. We're going to go back to our left side. And in this search, I'm going to start typing out Mambo. Didn't even have to type Mambo completely. Already you can see Mambo merge right here. You can recognize our little emblem there. I'm going to click and drag this onto this page, and you'll see there's some spots where it is a circle with a slash through it telling me no, I can't put it there, but everywhere else is these wonderful greens saying it's good to go. So we'll go ahead and drop my Mambo merge here. And because I've dropped Mambo merge onto the page, it's also selected. So on my right side, you'll see there's details for my Mambo merge component. Now, looking back at the Mambo merge component itself, you'll see that it has an upload file or a drag and drop option. This is Mambo merge straight out of the box, ready to use. On the panel here, you'll see that there is this field that says template ID. What we can do here is we can set our template to this component instead of dragging our template every time. We're jumping a little ahead, but I wanted to clarify on this field here what it does. So if I've already done my template and I'm setting it and assigning it to this component, this is where I would put my template ID. But this also counts for our configuration ID, and that's what we're going to be doing later. We're going to be taking full advantage of our pro trial, because when you download Mambo Merge the first time, it's going to give you 30 days of our pro trial. So template ID means template ID, or if we're using standard or pro, configuration ID also. And so this is where we'll be coming back later to fill this in. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. If you see save changes should appear right here. Once it's done, oh, changes saved, perfect. If you've never done that on this page before, activation will pop up. You can choose default and desktop and phone. I can show that real quick. Activation here by me selecting it, because I've already done this several times on this page. And that'll let you complete the process. So you can see I already have org default set, desktop and phone. So once I've had those chosen, it finishes the process of saving. And just a reminder, we want to make sure this finishes saving, changes saved before we go to the next page. Otherwise, we'll jump back over and we won't have our component there. So here we are, our component on the page. We can go ahead, drag and drop a document in, and we'll have something shoot out. Obviously, it won't have anything in it because we haven't done any merge fields into our template. So let's click on our drop-down menu. You'll see three options. We have Setup, Template Builder, and Support. And like I said, we could start building our template from Template Builder and then start dragging and dropping. But we're going to actually go to Setup to get to that configuration ID setup. So I hit Setup. I'm on my page here. We have some configurations I've already done. When you start, you will have nothing here. But because I have these, I can show you some things that we can do on this page. So I can go ahead and select these. and I can select this drop down here, and I can delete the selected, I can export the selected, or I can even import. So what's happening is we can export our configurations, whether we need to take it to another sandbox, take it to production, or we're taking it into this sandbox. Or maybe we just want to save our configurations and start over new, but we don't want to lose what we've already done so far. These options are going to make it so much easier for us to do that. Another thing is on this page, we can also, if we select just a single one, we have clone. This is great if you have several configurations that are going to have similar relationships and save tasks or other post-merge actions. And we'll discuss what those are later on. But this will save some time if you just need to make a whole bunch of similar configurations, but the templates will be different. So there's a lot to do just on this page. And again, you can also see that I can go in and edit these configurations, but we're not going to edit these. We're going to start new and fresh. So I'm on my configuration wizard page, and this is my friend in helping me set up. So first page is record details. It's already assuming opportunity is the object I want to use. It's right, I'm here and this is what I wanted. But let's say I'm on opportunity and I'm actually going through all my configurations and making it for different objects. I can go through here, select which object I need, and continue on with my configuration. And again, standard and custom objects Mambo Merge can work on, and they'll appear right in here for us to choose. So then our next option is record selection. Single record, that's what we're using Mambo Merge for the most. For the most part, it's going to be just the record page that I'm on, a generated document for that. Now these other three options, they are going to do more than one record at a time. So pretty similar to this in that we'll generate our Mambo merge documents. But here we can choose more than one, and then we can choose whether we're going to have a single document for each record that we've chosen, or we're going to have one single document with each record being corresponded to a single page in that document. So to see what the difference is between all three of these, because they do something similar, record where allows us to set the parameters of which document or which records Mambo Merge is going to grab. So we have already told Mambo Merge what we want, and it will always select that one. Flow is going to let me choose which documents I want to use before I hit that generate button. So right before I generate, I get to choose exactly which one from my list view. So from a list view, you'll be able to check mark off who you want, click your button, it takes you to Mambo Merge to finish up the job. And then from report, pretty straightforward, it's going to get that information from a report you created. So then you can generate the documents for that way. Today, I'm going to go with records where, because we've done single records for an opportunity quite similar before, and I'm going to be using a simple invoice as I've done in a previous webinar. So we'll be selecting records where, and then you'll see this field starts to fill in with more information for us. So I can specify condition for which records I want, and that's going to be by adding filters. Already I get to select one, and I'm going to go with I want opportunities that are one. You can also choose your operator. All of these are included. You can, if had I done amount, I could do greater than or equal to. In and not in would be as in it's included in or not included. But we're going to be just simple and go is one equals, and I want it to be true that it is going to be one. So I've selected this. And then if you notice down here, we have order by. This is great. With my batch, where each record has its own document, order by won't be entirely necessary. But when it comes to my bulk, where I have one single document that has all of my records in it, the order will be important to me. So I can choose all these other features, other values to choose my order by, but we're going to go simple and I'm going to do name and do alphabetical order. And we'll go to the next page. Next page, like with our single record, is relationships. Now, relationships are what we use to tell Mambo Merge how to find information from related objects. So in this case, my opportunity, I have accounts, contact roles, line opportunity or line items for my opportunity, and so on. So we can add these here. Now, if you notice here, it says choose relationship type. Lookup field is one-to-one. Related list is one-to-many. So with our lookup field, I'll give you an example. I'm on my opportunity. I can only have one account assigned to my opportunity. So that's going to be a one-to-one relationship, and that'll be my lookup field. So we'll go ahead and add that in. And I'll select lookup field, and wonderfully on top, account ID. And then here we have these fields that are available. I'll select what I need for that, and these will make those merge fields available for me. So, I'll put account name, account phone number, and then I'll need billing. So I'll need billing street and postal code and state and country. I'm going to let you in on a not so secret of our opportunity. We've already built account in for opportunity. It's one of our more popularly used objects when generating documents. So we built account in already. But I'm using this just so that you could see what it looks like when you're filling this out. Moving forward, related list is one-to-many, and that we'll use that to show the line items. And again, guess what? We built that in already. But we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like if we were going to have to do it manually. Now, if we had custom objects, if we had just standard objects, we can do this. We just made it a little easier by building these guys in, so you don't have to go through this to add this to your opportunity. But this is a great way to show you what it looks like when we do. So I selected related list type. I selected my opportunity line item. I can even add in a filter, just like we did with when we were selecting our record where. And when I hit add filter, you'll see exactly similar. We select our value, our field. I could do quantity. We could do our operator. And I could set it to whatever number I need, so 4. And then also order by, we could do that too. We could change it by sales price, quantity, line item. But again, these are already built in, so I'm not going to even keep these, but you would go ahead and hit next once you are done with these. But because they're already built in, I'm removing them. And we'll go to the next page. And here we are on merge data. Now this is really cool. This is where we get to see our merge field and the value what it's outputting. So this is what we put in our template, account ID, and this is what's going to be popped out. Now, maybe I didn't want that. Maybe that wasn't what I was looking for account. Well, I told you how account was already built in, so I didn't have to do the relationship. Here it is. And you know what? It was account name that I really wanted. And so I would type out account.name on my template, and Burlington Tex Corp of America would fill in. Now we'll make this a little bit smaller so that you can see my template here. And you can see I have account name, account shipping street. They're being filled in, and you'll see that these are going to actually get filled in. So I know that I've got the right ones filling in here. And we also have down here opportunity line items. This has 4 each. Now, I'll explain what's happening here, but let's scroll down to find it. Let's see. Opportunity line items. So I'll drop this down, and you can see there's 3 items filling in here. And 0, 1, 2, 3. But this is just how data likes to number things. 0 is always first. one will be your second, and so forth and so on. So this wonderful for each opportunity field right here is telling Mambo Merge, hey, there's more than one of me, and you're going to cycle through all of them and make sure you get each of these fields that are in between it, because here's my ending one. It's got a slash, and then it's for each again. So opening, closing, and everything in between, those are going to be generated for each one of these. And we'll open one so you can see quantity. What do we have? 3. So 3 would be filling in for this one. And then we'd have another line for the next one, and then another for the next one, and they would fill in corresponding to them. There is another way to get these lines to appear instead of just a for each. We can have it if we just need, maybe we just need the first one. We don't need all 3. If we need just the first one, that's going to be a different format, and I'll type it out for you guys real quick to see. It'll be opportunity line items, and then it's going to be the square bracket with a 0, square bracket, and then we'll hit dot and quantity. And that will just do the first one. And where did this square bracket come from? It came from right here. So this is just how it's going to know which item am I grabbing it from. So let's say you don't need all of your 20 items to appear. Maybe you need just the first 5. You could go through, list out all each, 0 through 4, because 0's first, and you'd be able to get only the first 5. For each is if you need to cycle through everybody and make sure you get everybody included. So we will go ahead and not save him. I just wanted you guys to see that there's more than one way to get these related items out. And we'll keep in mind these wonderful little red lines. These are there to help you with your Word document. They're part of Word. We want to go ahead and ignore them just for safety reasons. The world's not ending. It just makes it easier when troubleshooting your template for the first time. So I like to do is go through and ignore all, or if you're going to be making a lot of templates and they're going to have similar fields, you can always add it to your dictionary, but we're going to go ahead and ignore all. Click OK, and we'll save. And then we've done this with all of our merged data, so we'll go next. And now we're at template. So here we can either add existing template, upload a template, or upload a template at the time of the merge. 3 options here. We're going to go with our template already existing because I already uploaded it into Salesforce. Now, already it's confusing. There's a whole bunch of documents here for me, but I like to put my templates inside of a folder. So I go to libraries and I go to my Mambo Merge template library, and I'm going to select simple invoice, select it, and here we are. Now, this looks almost similar to how a single record is. The only difference is now we have these 2 options here. One record per, or one document per record, or one single document for all records. So we're going to actually make this one my batch invoices. So batch invoice. And I'll go ahead and attach it to each record. And I'm going to use a merge field in my generated file name so that my files have all slightly different names. So we'll put the name of the file and the invoice. And from there, we're going to keep it simple. We could change it to a PDF. And then if we did that, we could show a preview. But right now, we're just going to leave it at a docx. And we're going to add another template. We're actually going to use the same template, but this time we're going to use it to do our bulk. So again, instead of one per record as we have up here, we're going to select single document for all records. And you can see now this changed. Attached to each record is not available for the bulk record because you're not going to have everybody's information attached to one record. So here we're going and naming our button to bulk invoice. And then here I have my output folder. I can select it to that. There's also, I could download it immediately if I needed to, but I want to keep it all in Salesforce for now. So I'm going to change my name to bulk and I'm going to do invoice. Now, why don't I use that name merge field here? Well, if you can see, this says that merge fields are supported, but for a bulk, there's only certain merge fields that are supported, and that's going to be now, today, and this year. So I'm going to put today, and this will give me today's date, and that's how I'll know that this bulk invoice was done for today. And we go now next. I'm on my post-merge actions. For my batch, I can do update records, save task, or send an email. I'm going to save a task and say batch invoice ran today. And I'll put that as completed. Now for my bulk invoice, I'm going to put another task, and you can see that can't send an email right now because it's for everybody, but I am going to save a task, and I'm going to say bulk invoice ran today, and we'll put complete. And we'll move to next. And final page is just to kind of sum up our component. We get a preview of it. We get to name our configuration ID. If you remember template ID, configuration ID, they're the same thing on both of those. So I'm going to go ahead and name this BB for bulk and batch. And I'm going to put 2 because I did have one that was named that already. I can put a description to know what's happening for this configuration. I can also choose to have a buttons or a drop down. This lets me select it and then hit merge. I'm going to go with that. And then I can also have my configuration ID show in case I have so many components that I want to be sure that I put the right one on and that I'm choosing from the right one. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that and save. And BB2, that's the one that I made. We'll go ahead and close. I will hit my setup button here and go back to edit page to get to my Lightning app builder. As it loads, remember, this is a side that's going to give us the detail about our component. So I select Mambo Merge, template ID. I'm going to put BB2. And if I select somewhere on the page and just click, you can see it already updates live there for me. But we want to remember to hit save and wait for changes saved, and then we can go back. That way we don't go back and forth wasting time because we moved a little bit faster than Salesforce for the day. So here we are. And on my page, there's 5 notes already in my attachment. Here's my activities. We're going to be having our saved task fill in here. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll hit my batch invoice. I'll hit merge. There's Mambo Merge doing its job. And I think my connection's a little slower than Mambo Merge ran. So I'm going to go actually refresh so that we know that it happened because it was finished. And yeah, you can see 6 is already there. There's my document right there. And then batch invoice ran today already appeared right here. So before the page even wanted to update for me, Mambo Merge was already done. So we'll take a quick look at our preview. You can see all of my information is already popped in and populated. And here we have our 3 items coming in, and they filled in just as we needed them. Okay. And then let's go back and we'll do our bulk invoice. We'll hit merge once more. Remember, 6 are there. Okay. And let's refresh because we're still running slower than Mambo Merge is running in the org. So 6 Still a fix, but remember, we didn't have that attached to the record, but we did have our bulk invoice ran today. So where did we want it to go? We wanted it to go to our library called output. So you can see already bulk invoice is there, but let's make sure that it actually went to our output as we wanted it. And here it is. Bulk invoice 3/16/23. Remember, we only had the date, and we can click on that and preview it. And you'll see here's our first one, the Burlington Textile, because that's where we were, invoice. And it takes up 2 pages just because it's a little long. But then it goes to the next page, and that's when it starts the next record. And it continues on. And if you see, it looks like, yep, everything is in alphabetical order, express. So if I keep going down, brand, United, it came out as I needed it to. So Mambo Merge allowed me to do a bulk and a batch of 2 records, of more than 1 record, not just 2. And other than that, I will be opening the floor for questions and turning it back to Jesse if he has access to questions.
Thank you, Cynthia. And we do want to thank everyone for joining here. We are going to open up for questions, and we do have one here on the chat. It just came up. And actually, seeing that you were talking about templates there, the question that was noted is if existing templates already used by customers using a different notation, I believe the double curly brace notation was used on the one example you showed. If they have a different notation there, can they tell Mambo Merch what notation to use or have an option to select a different notation?
So the question is whether they can use their mail merge template notations for Mambo Merge.
Yes. Mhm.
So it's going to be no, because the fields are not quite the same. I mean, they, like you mentioned, they look like sisters, but they're really cousins. They don't quite look similar when you start pulling up the actual merge fields. So we recommend that you go check out your template builder. You can look at those fields that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a preview of the data, or as I was showing originally in the actual configuration, the best bet for them, since they already have a template already established, is going in here and making sure that the right data they want matches. Because these can be a little bit similar, but then they're slightly off, especially when it comes to the relationships we have to set up.
Gotcha. We have one more question here. Go ahead, Chris.
Me? Okay. What's the best way to request functionality or maybe like suggest possible functionality for future development?
So this would be a great platform for doing that if you had any suggestions for right now. Otherwise, you can contact us through support at Mambo Merge, or even call us from our number. You can find the other contact information on our website. Heck, if you want to tweet us, any way you want to contact us, we are more than happy to hear about your ideas for new features.
Cool. Thank you.
And there was one more question here that we came up from our social channels. It looks like as you were talking about data and the fact that you're able to gather some and there's some built in through relationships, how does Mambo Merch address field level security?
So as part of the security review for all of the App Exchange, Salesforce does try to ensure its publishers to follow and respect their security model. And anybody, so any users that don't have access to data is not authorized to have that access. And to explain further, each year Salesforce does put out 3 releases for updates. And here at Mambo Merge, we definitely look at those closely just to ensure that we're taking advantage of all those updates to help our customers and to increase our security. And furthermore, Mambo Merge is native. All the generation of the documents are happening in your org. The only time that anything would leave your org is when you do a PDF convert. And even then, that requires you to do a remote access approval of the API. So nothing is done without your approval.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from anyone? All right, so our next office hours webinar is scheduled for Thursday, April 13th. So if you'd like to join, follow us on social media to add you to the list. Thank you, Cynthia, for running us through this and answering questions. And thank you, folks, for asking questions. Have a wonderful rest of your day.